Let's go live to North Carolina, Wilmington, to be quite specific about it, where the beautiful sun is rising behind him on a brand new day with less than a week to go before the US election, the great Chris Kenny. Sorry to keep you waiting, mate. I know it's early and I know it's a little bit cold, but we've got an election here, election there, elections everywhere. It's prime Sky News.
It is absolutely, mate. It's actually a beautiful, mild morning here in Wilmington, North Carolina. The sun is about to rise, as you say. But you should never give Stephen Conroy an opportunity to punish me. Remember two things. First, he wanted to regulate the media when he was a communications minister. And secondly, he's a Collingwood supporter. Mate, only 6 sleeps to go until the big day. 6 sleeps until the big dance. And North Carolina is one of the absolute battleground states. And it's really going to go down to the wire here. All the lefties who have been saying for months and right up until now say there's no way that Donald Trump will be re-elected. You can see in some of the media commentary now they think, oh, hang on, look out, just maybe, because there is a definite and a very clear path to victory here for Donald Trump.
Because, as I've been showing a couple of times in the show, early voting is not showing a massive disparity between the Democrats and the Republicans. In fact, in some places, including in Wisconsin, that, you know, conventional media types, they wrote it all off. Trump is leading. So supposedly it was about a 2-to-1 margin. The Democrats were voting earlier than Republicans, and Republicans were going to try to make up the gap on election day. But if those margins aren't there going into election day, every signal is that there is going to be a lot of Trump people who are willing to stand for hours and hours and hours to vote on election day, so their vote counts on election day.
Yeah, Paul, the truth is nobody knows. They've never seen this many pre-poll votes before. They've already had more now than they had in the entire election campaign last year. And more than the pre-poll votes now are more than half of all the votes cast last time. Now, we've spoken at polling booths over the past couple of days to lots of voters who have already voted, and they voted Trump. There are plenty of Trump voters who have voted early, so no one knows whether it's people just getting in and taking the opportunity to vote before they have to line up because of COVID or because they're eager to defend Donald Trump or get rid of him. We'll see. But there's no doubt that the polls in the key swing states are close. If you look at Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, the point is that the polls are so close in those states, and some of them at times have had Donald Trump ahead, and you look at the key policy arguments and the momentum at the moment, and you look at what's happened in the past, you can make a case for Donald Trump winning in every one of those states. Now, he loses a few, say. He can't afford to lose Texas or Florida, but if he holds most of the rest, he could lose Pennsylvania and survive. And certainly, if he holds Florida, Texas and Pennsylvania, then he drops off Michigan, Wisconsin. Who cares? He still gets the Electoral College votes. I think what we can say is it's absolutely certain Joe Biden will win the national head-to-head vote, because they'll turn out in their droves in California, in New York, in Massachusetts to vote for Joe Biden. But it's very easy to see a path here that Donald Trump could hold enough of those swing states to maintain the presidency, to be there for another 4 years.
What is the biggest gulf that you have seen between media narratives and reality when you are actually talking to real human beings, not the gatekeepers who talk about real human beings?
Yeah, I tell you what, I think it's just the friendliness, the decency of American voters. I mean, if you're watching a lot of the media around the world and in Australia, a lot of what they call mainstream media, which is overwhelmingly left, they have America terribly divided and a people against each other. Now, that's not to downplay the horrible riots and violence we've seen in Portland, Oregon and in Minnesota and the like. But we were struck just the other day at a polling booth we went to in Georgia, and we spoke to 2 voters on the way out. One was a white Southerner who said racism was not a problem. He thought he got on very, very well with black people in his community. He'd voted for Trump. And then we spoke to this lovely woman who'd taken her mother to the polling booth, and they were African American, and she'd voted Democrat because she said they'd fought all their lives, fought and died for the right to vote, and she was going to stick with the Democrats, and she thought there was a race problem in America. Yet these people were side by side, calmly going about the process of voting from completely different perspectives in American life, but they were exercising their values through the ballot box. No animosity, no tension in their community, living side by side. And that's the beauty of democracy and of America. You don't see reflected in the media, but that is what you see around you everywhere you go in this country.
Now, I'm sure your beautiful wife, Sunita, might be watching, but what's the best bad American snack that you've eaten? What's the best crap food that you've been able to put down your gullet? Because there's no good eating options in that country. None.
Mate, I am desperate to lose weight, so it's not the timing of the American trip is not ideal. We did get a nice salad in Savannah, but I tell you, we had a brunch burrito yesterday. I think a little light thing to get us through the day. My God, it took us an hour to get through the thing. So much cheese, but Sunita should rest assured I'm working so hard we haven't had time to drink. So what I'm making up in the food, I'm losing the calories in the wine and beer.
I'll never forget standing beside you when the miracle happened in 2019. I wish I was standing beside you should one happen again in 2020. Great man. 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time is when you can see Chris Kenny. His work has been amazing. And Chris, I'm about to play a package that you did a couple of days ago from Florida. Well done to you and your team because you're giving us such a great perspective. And when you're a one-man band doing it, I know it's tough, but you're absolutely kicking ass, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Three-man team with Tom and Jared, as you know, and Tanika back there. But it's wonderful stuff, and we'll keep bringing it to you, as you say, 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
Good.
Thanks, mate. Talk again.
All right, great man. Remember, that is when primetime starts. Common Sense starts 5 p.m. each and every night here on Sky News. Here is Chris's experience in the swing state of Florida. Well done to his team. This is good work.
In his battle to get a second term, there is no state more important to Donald Trump than Florida. He was here on the weekend, casted his ballot, then went off to rallies around the country. But in Florida, there are 29 electoral college votes up for grabs.
Trump needs to win it. So if President Trump does not win Florida, I think we'll know pretty early in the evening, and that could really doom his chances.
Now, of course, the enthusiasm and energy that Donald Trump brings to the campaign is unquestioned. He goes from rally to rally, state to state. But have a look at his supporters. They show amazing energy as well. This is a rally in Fort Lauderdale, just south, of course, of the President's winter White House. The organiser of this rally is Michelle Merrill. Michelle, this looks like a lot of fun, but the question is, absolutely, listen,
97% of the cars going by are pro-Donald Trump, not Joe Biden. We have rallies like this happening all over Broward County today, at all the polling locations and on corners all over the county. We are seeing unprecedented numbers of people showing up for our rallies that the president is coming in for in Florida. We're seeing people by tens of thousands showing up. Joe Biden could not fill a bowling alley.
This is truly an historic first. A sitting United States president pacing the field for the great American race. He said he wanted to do a lap. He's going to do it.
Love it. Gosh, it's awesome.
The president made a spectacular appearance at the Daytona 500 in February. The race is like America's Bathurst, and it's held every year here at Daytona Beach, Florida. The NASCAR demographic, as they call it, is a crucial one for winning over working families who might ordinarily be expected to vote Democrat and therefore Joe Biden. They've been pretty strong for Donald Trump instead. In last week's final campaign debate, Joe Biden made a big climate play to phase out the oil and gas industry. Now, this isn't going to play well in the big oil and gas states like Texas or Pennsylvania or even here in Florida. But worse still, it's a bit like Bill Shorten's electric car push in the last federal election. It's an attack on the petrol-driven car, and it's going to force up gas or petrol prices. As you know, Americans need and love their cars even more than Australians. They just like them a bit bigger and thirstier. So this issue has got Donald Trump fired up on all 8 cylinders in the last lap of the campaign.